Hey guys, today let's talk about why you aren't able to get clients on LinkedIn. So I made a post a couple of days ago that kind of talks about from A to Z how to use LinkedIn to grow your business. And I wanted to do a follow-up video to kind of talk about, like how that video talks about like what you should be doing, but some people might not be able to implement that fully because they don't know what they're already doing wrong. So I'm going to talk like what are the 3 biggest mistakes that most people face when they are on a social media platform like LinkedIn, and then you'll be able to kind of do it. Now, I'm wearing like 2 or 3 shirts inside this house, and I just turned on my heater. It is cold. I think it dropped between 20 to 30 degrees last night, so it's just like it's very, very cold outside, so I'm going to do my best not to be stuttering or anything like that. So let's go and attack this thing. So number 1, the main reason why a lot of people are not able to develop or to get clients because they have a very weak profile. So I'm not calling you weak. I'm not saying that your experience is weak. It's just the way that you are describing your services is not very clear, right? And if there's no clarity, a person just doesn't know what you do. So when you send them a connection request, when someone sees your profile, they just kind of move on to the next person, just another random person. Now, a reason why a lot of people have that happening is because they're running their business part-time. Maybe they don't want their job to see that, okay? Now, this is actually a good thing and a bad thing. So the reason why it's a bad thing is because it kind of suggests that you are a fly-by-night person. And I'm not saying that to be like a disrespectful way, right? I'm not disrespecting that your drive and your hustle and your ambition to start a business. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that business owners want to make sure that, like you're doing this thing as like a priority. So when you have like a profile which just talks about your work experience and your work career, and you're reaching out to people and they're like, well, who is this person? An alternative way to do that is make a second profile, like a second personal profile used strictly for business. And you just make it a private profile so that the people at your current job can't see you. If it's private, like how can you use a private profile to get clients? Well, you can set it so that the only people that can see your content and they can see your profile are people who you have sent a connection request to. So you can handpick the people who can actually see your stuff, and it makes it a lot safer for your job. Now, when I say fly by night, it's okay to do this thing part-time. It's just fly by night suggests that someone does not really care that much and they're not really taking it that seriously, right? So, and that objection generally comes by people not really presenting themselves as credible, not being consistent, and not really showing up the right way, right? It's okay to be part-time. Being part-time is different than being a fly-by-night. Fly-by-night's negative. Part-time is just a kind of place that you're at right now as you're making this thing your full-time. But it's all about focus, all about communication. Now, if you present yourself properly, business owners won't even consider, whether you're full-time, part-time. They just say, okay, this is a person that can help me out, right? And that's going to come down to how we talk to people, how we do our consultation calls, and we have a lot of videos on this channel that talks about like those different aspects. So I'm not going to go into super deep today when it comes to how to present yourself as credible. But number 1, your profile has to be good. Now, if you don't know how to like make a good profile, we do teach that inside of our program. We give you like 3 different profile templates that you can choose from to make sure your profile is putting your best foot forward on the internet. Also, if you want some help growing your business, but maybe like it's just not quite working the way that you'd planned, go ahead and click the link inside the description, book a call with myself or a member of my team to see if we can help you inside of our mentorship program, okay? So let's talk more, a little bit deeper. So you've made your second profile. The next reason why most people struggle when it comes to actually, even going back, so when you have a strong profile, the benefit is that people actually reach out to you. So one of our students named Audrey, she gets about 3 to 4 consultation calls per month of people that just sent her a friend request and were interested based on what her profile is saying. Like, if you do this stuff right, like LinkedIn will start referring people to you or showing your profile to people who are looking for a similar service. So when you have that right, like it just works very well. Second reason why people don't get clients on LinkedIn is going to be your messaging script and how you actually communicate to people, right? So your profile is how your brand communicates to a potential client. Messaging is how you communicate to the potential client. And some people, they might have a really strong profile, but now their messaging is off. So some things that people do wrong, if they will directly invite people to a consultation call. So it's like friend request, and they like put some kind of like message with a link to book a call. Now that will work. 1 out of every like 300 people might book a call with you. But the people who accept the call are generally going to be very price sensitive, or they're just going to be strictly asking like, what's your price? And if your price is like where it should be, they're going to say no in a lot of cases. Okay? So instead, you need to learn how to be indirect with your messaging, right? So you're trying to build a relationship, you're trying to understand like what are the problems, you're trying to build some interest in them actually wanting to work with you and hire your services, right? So there are 5 main things we need to learn and we need to know about the person in order for them to be able to be invited to a call. Give me one second, I have to go start my, or remote start my car real quick. Yeah, because I have to go get a haircut in a couple minutes, and it is very, very cold. Very cold, so all my windows are frozen. I'm kind of looking at it from here, but yeah, so 5 things we need to know. Is there a problem? Do they realize there's a problem? Have they tried to solve the problem? How long have they been trying to solve the problem? And then what is the value of if this problem is solved for them? If we know those 5 different things, then we can move forward, and then getting them to want to work with you is not very challenging. So the reason why, and if you notice this too, think about it like this. Notice how I said there's 5 things we need to know. I did not say there's 5 things we need to ask, because the questions you ask and what you say are not as relevant as the answers that you get. So a lot of people are always like, well, what should I say? Well, what should I say? It's more of like, you need to learn how to ask a question that gets an answer. And if you don't get the answer, you have to ask a different question until you get that right answer. So how most people are thinking that you need to do this. I'm trying to explain this in a easy way, because like, we do give you messenger scripts inside of our program, but we also teach you how to use the messenger scripts so that you can create your own messages. So, okay, so what color is that? You're gonna get a weird answer. When you say that, like, what's the unit of measurement? Are you talking about the sky, the tree, the grass, the ground? Okay, that means that you asked a question, but you didn't get the right answer. Now you have to ask a follow-up question. No, so that thing up in the sky, what color is that? Oh, that's a blue sky. Okay, you see how we asked 2 questions, but the answer you really wanted was the blue, right? So most people will ask a question, but they won't be specific enough or really clear enough in what they're asking, so they get a wrong answer. Then they move on to the next question, and it just doesn't really work out, right? So it's like you need to know what answer you're getting. So is there a problem? Do they know it's a problem? What have they done to try and fix the problem? How long have they been having the problem, or how long have they been trying to fix the problem? And then 5, like, what's the value of solving this problem, right? We're asking volume of solving the problem because we want to see, like, are they willing to spend money? And they're like, it's not that big of a problem. It's like, okay, well, we're going to wait until it is a big problem, or we're going to implement some objection handling inside a messenger or on the call to make them see why it's a big problem. How long have they been struggling? If it's been a couple days, they're probably not going to be willing to pay as much money as if like they've been planning for it for a couple months, or it's been happening for a couple months. Okay, next thing is going to be, okay, so like, what have they actually tried to do to solve it? Like, if they've never worked with a bookkeeper before, like, you have to then educate them on like what a bookkeeper like rates are, right? Because you don't want them to get on the phone, you spend like 45 minutes to an hour with them, and you're like giving them this great presentation. You say it's $3,000 a month, they're like, oh, I thought it was going to be like $300 a month. And like, even though the work is worth $3,000, they just don't have proper expectations, right? Because they never maybe worked with someone, or they might have worked with someone that was extremely cheap, and they're maybe expecting that all accountants and bookkeepers work at those low rates, right? So that's why you need to know that. Next thing, when it comes to like, do they feel it's a problem? Like, if they don't feel it's a problem at all, like they're unaware. It's just like, okay. So we have to make them aware of why someone needs it. Now, generally, most of the business owners that you're going to be actually getting to pay above $500 a month should know, like, this should be a successful enough business to know why they need accounting and bookkeeping, right? When you start getting to like the $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month, they're automatically going to know. Like, just know, right? You can't be that size of business and not know that you need this kind of help, right? It's that this second one applies mostly like really, really small businesses, but I still like to ask it to big businesses just so they can kind of understand, tell themselves that it's a problem. And then number 1 is like problem, right? It's very simple to kind of get an understand like their problems and their pains. Most people will talk about their pains openly. So it works like that, okay? So again, it's not necessarily what you ask, it's more how you get to those answers. Now again, like, if you want to learn exactly what to say in the messenger scripts to give you the best chance of eliciting those answers, inside our mentorship program, we do give you a script so you know exactly what to say. We also give you like, what to say in this scenario, or how to do this scenario, or how to do this scenario, to make sure that you know exactly what you need to be doing. Cool. Give me a second. I'm writing down a note to add. Add. Cool. Awesome. And then the next thing that's going to be, actually, so even a good story about how we actually implement. So we showed one of our students how to go and do that. Like that person was booking anywhere between, I think she was adding like between like $2,000 to $3,000 a month in monthly recurring revenue just from fixing her messaging and learning like what to say. Like she has total confidence. Anytime that she wants to go get a client, within about 7 days, she can have enough consultation calls on the calendar to go get a client. Like that to me, that's confidence, right? If you just know you have the skill set. So a lot of people are like kind of think like, oh, I'm not confident about like, can I do the work? Can I grow this business? Right? It's not necessarily about being confident. It's about being competent. If you know how to do the steps correctly and you're going to get a certain number of, like, let's say, for example, you know that it takes you 3 consultation calls to get 1 client. Okay. And then let's say it's going to take you 10 messages per consultation call. That means you just have to connect with 30 people in order to get 3 consultation calls to get 1 client. It doesn't matter if you're confident or not in your ability to go get a client. If you can do the skill sets and you know the math behind it, you're automatically going to hit your goal. Right? So it just makes things a lot simpler and a lot easier for you to be able to go hit the target, and then you don't even need to think about confidence, okay? So get competent. I would watch as many of these videos as you can. Either go and join the program ASAP so I can just give you all this stuff like spoon-fed from scratch, or watch all the videos on the channel and then just like learn all this stuff so you actually have a developed skill set so you don't have to like worry about, oh, where's my next client going to come from, or how should I get a client? It's like, we have 800 videos. I'm not saying you need to watch all 800, but I'm just saying we have so many videos on this channel to give you stuff to like be able to like make money and actually grow your business. Number 3 mistake people do is they only focus on messaging, but they don't have any kind of softeners, case studies, or PDFs that they can give to people to help soften them. Okay, so if you're just straight up messaging, like you have to have a really good script. So it's like, that's why in the program, like we give you a good script and it works really well. But if you don't have a script and like you're just kind of doing stuff on your own, you might want to mix in a little bit of content in order to get people to want to work. Now, content does not mean you have to make videos, right? A number of different types of content. There's podcasts, there's YouTube videos, there's written stuff, there's blogs. There are infographics, that's just like, little picture graphics that kind of prove a point. So it could be a Google document you send to people. Like, it doesn't really matter. You can type it straight into LinkedIn or straight into Facebook. It doesn't matter. It's just content is just communication of how you are going to help the person out. That's all content is. So, for example, let's say we're going to have some written content. So one of our students, his name is James. Now, with James, he actually he was growing his business by like $4,000 a month for like in the first 90 days. Like he grew it to like 12 grand. It was like 12 or 15 grand a month. I can't remember one of those numbers, but he was doing it by like using like different social media platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn groups, and then we would just show him how to like make these like very, very short posts, right? That basically get people to raise their hand and say they're struggling with some sort of like issue. Whether it was, in his case, he liked to lead them with like teaching like construction owners like how to go and like price out their bids, how to do better cash flow analysis, how to advertise. He was just giving guides on everything, and he would just get them to raise their hands. And as they would raise their hands, he'd be like, hey, he would use the messenger script and be able to like go and message. Now, the reason why leading with content works really well is because now people see you as someone that can actually help them because you're already giving them helpful content. I'm just checking to see if my car's on, right? But okay, engine is running, vehicle successfully started. Nice. Cool. Now, the reason, again, why it's so important is because it softens people up. So now they're looking up at you, and when they're looking up at you, they respect you more. So now when you're doing your messenger scripts, they're going to give you better quality answers faster, so you don't have to ask quite as many questions. Also, when they read the guides, if the guide is helpful at all or gives them some sort of perspective change or teaches them something, now they respect you even more. And you just keep doing that over and over and over and over again. And you can even message someone to give them your guide, right? Or you can just post on your profile, they will see it, and then it just moves really quickly. Yeah, it's pretty clutch because it's just like you could even make posts where it's like very short written stuff, and it teaches them like 1 to 3 different things, and at the end it has like a call to action, like, hey, if you found this valuable, comment this thing so I know you read to that and I'll give you something extra. Or you can even do like, if you want help, comment this. Or if you want a guide that teaches you about cash flow management, comment cash flow. And then every single person that comments on one of those things can be reached out to in Messenger. So rather than you have to message like thousands and thousands of people, people that are interested now will tell you. So it just makes everything a lot easier. So you end up using more of your brain than you end up using like just like attack mode. So it kind of just depends on your style. I prefer to do more like messaging styles than just content, but it's like as you kind of get more experience in the game, then doing just content like really will like take care of a lot of your problems. Like for example, like I'm even kind of thinking about this, like where I stopped just doing everything on like Facebook, Instagram, and just only do like the YouTube channel to grow the mentorship program. Like that's all I do is just make like two to three YouTube videos a week, and like that is all the marketing that I have to do in order to grow like the mentorship program, right? So I'm kind of like debating about that and different things like that. But it's just like when you're starting out, like no one's gonna be reading your content, right, or watching your videos or nothing, because you don't have an audience, you haven't done it long enough. But after a while, it's just like it just starts rolling, and it's just like, whoa, this stuff is simple. Okay, so it all just kind of depends on where you're going from. But those are the 3 biggest mistakes I see a lot of people kind of making when they're trying to get clients on LinkedIn, and that's why they're not really able to. So profile's just not clear enough. Number 2, your messaging is not really eliciting the right answers, and it's too direct. Number 3, it's going to be that you need to be mixing content with you need to be mixing content, whether it's written, video, or audio, doesn't matter, with your messaging style so that people respond to you better and give you better quality answers faster with less effort and less pulling of teeth. And once you have those things, then getting consultation calls is very, very consistent. Hopefully you learn something new. If you want some help growing your business, maybe it's just not quite going the way that you want it to, right? But you're ready for a change, you're ready to go and reach your goals in the shortest period of time possible, go ahead and click on the link inside the description, either above or below the video, to book a call with myself or a member of my team, see if we can help you inside of our program. Okay? If that's you, I will see you on the call. If you're not ready, that is A-OK too. I will see you inside of the next video. Take it easy.